best way to describe this whole entirety of this Platinum End chapter is an entire clusterfuck. There are so many angels, there are so many candidates just flying around out of nowhere. It is just absolutely mental right now. So yeah, chapter 5, we're going into this one with a lot of confusion and a lot of the what the fuck? The mind games, literally mind games are literally happening. So just for clarity's sake, I have to mention, I read this chapter a couple of times. I think I've read it around about 4 times now to just try and even understand what exactly was kind of going on, and just like the amount of pacing that was just absolutely crazy. Like how many angels and candidates we got introduced to in this chapter, already seeing some of them going down. It's like, holy shit, you know, about it. They definitely want to make sure that with Platinum End, like, this is definitely going to be a long one, and I don't think as well for where they're going, it's like, we're not going to be like forced by Shonen Jump or anything to keep the manga going on as much as we plan. We have a game plan for this manga, and we're going to see it out to the bitter end. That's definitely what they're going for. So from what we get to see with Mirai as he's at the stands right there, alright, he's there with his girl, like with Saki, he's like there, like holding a hand. It's like, okay, this is the plan and all that, we're holding hands just so in case, you know, we can fly straight out of there. We got the arrows, we got to just see how this is going to play out right now. We got to see what's going to go. And when we get to see the Metropolitan Man, from what was happening with him, he was just there like at the middle stands, and then out of nowhere 2 more like candidates come out. So not only we got, you know, we've already got Mirai, we got Saki, you know, we got this Metropolitan Man as well, that's 3 there. We got another 2 arrive, which are like 2 of them are candidates with their angels. Like we find out only a little bit about them. It's like, oh, they failed their like prep school kind of exams and they wanted to kill themselves, and then they just happened to like be approached by their angels, which is a little bit weird that like they, out of everyone, that was all we got on them, and it was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna dress up in Metropolitan Man, so like no one knows who we are, you know, keep our identity safe. And they try to shoot the one guy in the arrow, like, oh yeah, let's get Metropolitan Man, and it seems like they don't have white arrows, they only have red ones to the people to make fall in love, and he got stabbed, and it was like, oh shit, that's it, like it didn't work on him. And it was like the only suggestion that they think of was like, well, he's already been stabbed by like an actual red arrow, he's a decoy, we got to get out there. And they even, throughout all of this, it's like another candidate arrives, this little girl who only has wings. She's like there with her angels, like, please, you gotta stop it, like hurting and all that. I was like, I got scared, I was bullied, I didn't want to live anymore, but you know, I found this angel and I found hope, please, I don't want to. And they're like, okay, look, we can get an ally here, we can work on this, man. He's like, yo, like, let's go and get this girl. And Metropolitan Man, he just comes out, just puts the red arrow, makes this little girl fall in love with him, and it's like, yep, you're already lost an ally right there. And they were trying to shoot, they were trying to get in, and it was like, they had a game plan in mind, because we were at each other's back, like, they were back to back, and it was like, you can't fire both of them like that, you know, we got a clear diameter. And Metropolitan, he showed, he's got 2 arrows, he's got the white and the red that he can fuck him up, and it's like, you know, Mirai's already seen this, it's like, what the fuck is with this clusterfuck? And then, it's like, they're saying, we need to sort this out. Who else wants to be allies with us? We know there's more people over here. And it was just like, you know, come be allies. And the Mirai's like, you know, we're just gonna let this play out. We need to let this play out. And then we get the yellow and pink one come out, and like, this is like me reading the first time in this chapter. I'm like, what the fuck? There's more. Like, stop sending them all out. So it's like already like there. Mirai, Saki, right there, Metropolitan Man, these 2, that's 5, right there. And the little girl, 6, or like, all of them, Mirai, Saki, Metropolitan Man, like, those 2 fuckers, and it's like, the girl as well, it's like, that's already half of the cast right there. That's already half of the candidates. What, Rodriguez went down, you know, so that makes, like, you know, a total of 11 people. And I was thinking like, oh my god, we literally just gone up to 8, and there was some smart shit being played with this, and it was like, alright, we only have like, you know, the wings and all that, we don't have the arrows, but we'll be allies. And they're like, okay, show shout. It's like, dude, we even got shot with the red arrows. And it was just like, oh shit. As fucking Metropolitan, he turns out the decoy from the start, that was actually him all along. And it was like, here's the thing, and it didn't get sense, like, how did he fucking make that, like, whole thing evaporate? Was there something that happened in there? Like, and he shot one of them with the white, so he killed one of them, and then he made the other one fall in love with him, and it's like, it turns out, well, how did you get those guys? Like, so what's going on here? It's like, you know, I cleverly, while people weren't paying attention, I swooped down, dude, did all this shit after I got that girl, and, you know, I had actors playing out, the yellow and pink ones, I paid them a lot of money to do that shit, you know, I got them to control that, and it's like, we'll begin the second phase now. And I'm like, this motherfucker definitely planned everything out from this situation. You know, he's definitely trying to be on some light shit. Like, you know, people are gonna say, oh, it's completely different from, like, you know, Death Note. It's like, well, if you look from their, like, their previous works, especially that this is supposed to be kind of like a little spiritual successor to, like, Death Note, and this is supposed to be kind of like the opposite of it, it's definitely seeming like the villain in this one is actually, like, L, instead of, like, you know, we got to see, like, Light, who was actually kind of the villain, like, up until, like, the end, although at the start, he was very weird, like, kind of borderline between the two. So I'm kind of curious to see what Mirai is actually going to do about this situation, but it was a really clusterfuck chat. It was like, we already got one of the candidates down. We've got one of them in the red as well, the red hour. So it's just like, we've already had a bunch of the candidates come out. And I'm like, really? Like, really? I'm not too sure. It's like, I thought like the candidates would kind of be like saved up for a bit. I mean, albeit that, you know, I'm glad that those other two wasn't candidates, that they were just paid actors. And apparently when the guy gets killed, like, all the girls start, like fall in love with you, as we found out with Rodriguez when he got killed. All the girls, like, freaked out, and they were like, yo, get the fuck out of here, we need, like, what's going on here? So I'm kind of, like, glad that that was kind of cleared up, but holy shit, it was such a massive, confusing chapter. Like, it will say to you, like, I hope I cleared this up for, like, a lot of people who are reading this, but I will say, if you didn't understand the chapter, even after, like, hearing my review, you should read it, like, maybe 2 or 3 times, and this is why, like, it kind of took a day later to kind of, like, process it, and it was, like, it was a very hard chapter to kind of talk about. I was like, I enjoyed it, but then as well I'm like, we are going way too fast. We are going way too fast. Like, I think after this whole little situation with the stadium, I think we should really slow it down, make like all these other, like, please make these other candidates like viable characters, and all that. I really hope it isn't just between like Mirai, Saki and Metropolitan. I want him to be like kind of one of the main antagonists from what we've seen so far in the series, but I really want there to be like other kind of threats and more interesting stuff like added into there, because that was definitely one thing I liked about Death Note, is that there was so many elements to it, and there was a lot of characters. I have trust in their writing, I really do. You've seen Bakuman was great. You've seen, like, you know, Death Note, it was absolutely great, although it got, you know, the second part of it, everyone knows exactly how they feel about that, but, you know, that was kind of out of their hands. They were kind of forced to continue on, because they know exactly where they wanted to end it. But overall, goddamn fucking enjoyable. Like, I really did, like, enjoy the chapter at some parts once I took the couple of reads, but I do have issues with it, so I think it would be a 6. I think it's a fine chapter, but it would have been higher, but there are such glaring issues in this chapter, so it's like, I still think there's some good enjoyment elements to it, but pacing really did knock it away from what it could have been. It could have been an 8 or something, but then it was like, yeah, it kind of went down to even 5, I would even say, like near 5 to a 6. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What did you guys think about this Platinum End chapter? I am definitely looking forward to the next chapter, chapter 6. I do know that the first volume is already out as well, so I am curious to see how the sales of that is actually doing, and when we will get releases of this over here in the UK and English speaking languages, because I definitely want to pick up the volumes, and I'm looking forward to that, and I definitely need to go and get my nice big box set of like Death Note manga as well, because I do want to read the Death Note manga, and I have seen the anime, so we'll have to wait and see. But that's all from me, so thank you much for watching. As always, I've been Savagezweipanda, and I will see you guys next time.